What's good, layer players? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to speak about Leo's punch parry, this one, or yeah, or we call it the Sabaki. A Sabaki parry is basically an attack that has parry frames, like parry properties in its early frames, and a couple more characters have this. Jin has this, Feng has this. It's funny that my characters have it, but yeah, they are mostly all of them are mostly punch parries, except like Leroy. I think he's the only one that parries kicks as well. As you probably noticed from my gameplay, I really like using it. It's my favorite way to take back my turn and keep my offense going. There are different ways you can apply it. For example, you can do it in between a string, which is more defensive. So if Leo does this, you can just parry it. The move itself is slow, but the parry comes out pretty fast since it's active at the very beginning of the move. Or you can set it up by doing a move that's safe and parry if they respond, which is more offensive. And that's what I do the most. It's like baiting. It's like baiting a response from them, and as soon as they respond, I parry. And yeah, that's how I use my Sabaki. But how do you use yours? You can tell me in the comment section. Just keep in mind that it's very risky since you can get counter hit if you mistime it. And it's a punch parry, so magic force and hop kicks will destroy you easily. So yeah, only parry when you think you have the read. So when is the best time to set up this Sabaki? To get the answer to this question, we need to ask ourselves what makes a parry effective and reliable. Well, a parry is effective when you're able to parry 10 frame jabs, down forward ones, and down forward twos. If you're not able to parry none of these moves, that makes your parry attempt even riskier than it already is. After some testing a while ago, I came to the conclusion that the parry has a 6 to 7 frame active window. That's So does that mean that parrying at -3 is good? I would say not really, because as you can see, you can't parry 13 frames and up at -3. That's because at -3 you recover so fast, and the parry is pretty fast too, so slower moves will beat you out. So that's also the case with -4. At -4 you can't parry 13 frames at all, but at -5 that's when you can start parrying 13 frames, right? Alright. So parrying at -5 is alright. I can parry 13 frames like I said, and this is good because it already validates 2 out of 3 criteria I set for myself earlier. I can parry jabs and down forward ones. That's 2 out of 3, right? And it's kind of the same with -6, but at -6 I can start parrying 14 frame moves, which is good, which is better. At -7 is when you can start parrying 15 frames, and yeah, you can start parrying down forward twos and stuff like that. So it's very important to be able to parry down forward twos, especially against people, I'd say, players who like to throw out launches all the time. And -8 -8 is when you can start parrying 16 frames to 17 frames. Don't know how this works, but sometimes you can parry 17, sometimes not. It's very wonky. Not sure how this works, but in my opinion, if you're trying to set up a Sabaki, it's best to do it after being -6 to -8. At -9 is where you can't parry jabs anymore. Only 11 frames until 17 frames. You can still parry down for the ones and stuff, so it's not completely unreliable, but parrying, being able to parry frames is the key. Is the number one thing you want to parry. So that's that. But online though, it's still kind of useful because you know the delay and stuff like that. 10 frame moves become 11 frame moves sometimes, so it's still reliable. I'm not, I won't say reliable, but useful. It can be useful. And also, if you're banking on the opponent's slow reactions, then this will work too. These Sabaki setups will work on players who have a basic understanding of frames and punishments, and players who kind of know when it's their turn. But this will not work on players who don't know what's going on. That, you know, the type that will do a snake edge or hell sweep after you down for one. So you just need to look at their tendencies, if they like to jab too much after safe moves or things like that. Download their rhythm and everything will fall in line. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I wanted to say. I'll try to make this video as short as possible, so I'll cut it here. Thanks for watching, and peace.